giving all those kind of unwelcoming comments to somebody that is taking care of you, might not just the clients, their family can be unbearable.
Oh, tell me about it.
They said he jokingly mentioned it to her that this was what he said to me. So that was they're not affirmed that this man knows what he is doing. So they started wearing clothes in Africa. There was time he made a reference to me and a monkey and a zoo.
Stop.
Like comment.
Hi guys, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. My name is Ria and I'm a lifestyle and immigration content creator living in Dublin, Ireland. If this is your first time seeing my face, you're highly welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, what's up G, how are you doing? So as you guys can already see from the title of this video, I actually brought a healthcare assistant that some of you already know. If you don't know, she's going to be introducing herself quite soon. She's just pretty much here to tell us about why she resigned from doing healthcare as a job here in Ireland, everything that there is to know, pretty much like the cons of doing healthcare in Ireland. So if you're actually looking to migrate to Ireland under this particular job, I think that this video is the one that you actually need to watch.
Hi guys, my name is Grace and it's nice to be on here.
Thank you for coming actually.
You're welcome. It's always a pleasure, always.
So you've actually been on my channel a couple of times actually here talking about healthcare as an industry here in Ireland. Like you've told us that you've worked here as a healthcare assistant. You've also given us like interview questions and answers, things to look out for, you know, in the healthcare industry, how much the salary is and whatnot. I think the last time you appeared on this channel, you also mentioned that you had actually left the healthcare industry or you were no longer working there. So I actually thought to, you know, bring you back to the channel and just, you know, enlighten us and educate us as to why you actually, you know, left the healthcare industry. Was there a particular problem why you left? Was there something that wasn't given anymore?
So if you haven't watched the last videos on the healthcare series, I'll advise that you do that because I'll be repeating some things that I've said there. Like for instance, healthcare is a very tasky role and it's very interesting, but at the same time it's very demanding. But here I have 4 very key reasons as to why I left, alongside a lot more general reasons as to why people generally leave healthcare. Primary reasons like probably they were not being well treated by the staff, or they could not just handle the pressure from clients, they could not handle the pressure from having to take care of somebody who is not family. The job was not for them when they started, they realized it wasn't for them. Being maltreated or feeling like you're not being paid well enough compared to the kind of job you're doing. Those are various factors as to why people actually leave, but these ones are unique to me and like they are my primary reasons for leaving. So the first reason I'll be looking at, because I wrote them down, I wanted to do something in relation to my academic career. That was my first reason for leaving healthcare. So I had worked in healthcare for a year plus and I did something totally different in school. I have a master's in business that is very not related to healthcare. Healthcare is something that I started as a part-time job just to like get me through school and pay bills and stuff like that, but I always wanted to try something in relations to my academic career, something I learned in school. And I know it was a big risk for me. I considered it a risk for me because looking at the pros of having to do a healthcare job in this country, in this part of the world, is really, really good. Having to work in healthcare, you get a lot more opportunities than you will in like a business sector because it's not a critical skill. But like I'm young, I wanted to take the risk and I really wanted to explore that part of my life. So that's one reason why. So if you feel like maybe in the long run, healthcare is not something that you can or you would like to do in a very long run, then like if healthcare is something that you feel that you cannot do in a long run, there's actually no point migrating to another country or to Ireland because you want to be a healthcare assistant. Because if it's something that you cannot sustain in the long run, you just find yourself wanting to like switch to something else. So if genuinely it's not your 100% passion, then I'll advise you not to travel all the way or migrate because of healthcare. But again, you can do it part-time, get the good cash from it, get the experience from it, and then apply it to other roles, which is what I'm doing at the moment. Another reason as to why I left healthcare was because the sponsorship opportunities in home care was not available at the time. I don't know if it still applies,
No,
but
it doesn't.
to the best of my knowledge, it doesn't apply here. So the reason why I was considering staying in home care or staying in healthcare in general was because I wanted to get sponsorship. And then home care at the time, or along the line when I started working, when I went like months into working with home care, there was a rumor that all healthcare assistants will be getting sponsored. But then later on, I was very happy to have heard that news, and like I even gingered more to stay. I was like actively now reaching out to supervisors to give me more shifts. I thought that this is where I was going to remain. But then I later found out that like that wasn't applied to home care. It's not considered as critical critical as nursing homes and hospitals and like other health professions. So yeah, that was something that discouraged me about working with the home care. And I know you may think, okay, why didn't you just go to a nursing home? Nursing home is very, very crazy. The workload in a nursing home is maybe, I don't know how bad, because I never experienced it, but what I've heard from friends and like what you've seen from other people that have spoken on healthcare on this channel, it's crazy. It can get very, very, very overwhelming.
Yeah.
So that's one reason why I didn't even consider, I did consider nursing home, to be honest, but I knew that the strength I had put into home care, I would have had to put like 10 times of it into nursing home, and I wasn't ready to give off that much energy.
But you actually wanted sponsorship though.
Yeah, I did want sponsorship, but like again, I also wanted to adventure into like my business career and just try that line, you know, take a risk. That's one reason why I didn't bother going ahead with healthcare. I had to leave. And then another reason, in my opinion, there is no room for growth and improvement in your career in healthcare. I'll explain. So there are people that I have spoken to that have remained healthcare assistants for years.
Yeah.
It's very unlikely for you to find them recruiting you within. Like they have positions like supervisors, schedulers and the likes, and it's very rare. I know most companies would rather do in-house recruitment. Maybe you were a healthcare assistant before and then they recruited you to work as in a higher position. It's very, very, it happens, it does happen, but very rarely, because they need more people in the field than they do in the offices, to be honest. So they would rather leave you in the field to keep working and then employ people outside to work in like the office environment for them, because the workload is majorly on those in the field. So I felt like having noticed that and observed and had conversations with people who have worked for years as healthcare assistants, they said the same thing. There is very little room for growth in that field. You know how maybe if you start off in a job, you say, okay, maybe in next 2-3 years or in next 2 years I want to be promoted to this. You might just get an increase in your salary. That's as high as your promotion might get. But very rarely people do get employed to like higher positions. There was a supervisor I had that was a healthcare assistant before, and then she went to a supervisor level. But then it barely happens. It's more rampant that you would remain in as a healthcare assistant, maybe till you decide to resign or you decide to leave the profession. So you would improve educationally. There would be courses for you to take. You would gain more experience based off on the work you're doing in the field. But just knowing that these people need more hands on the field than they do in the offices is like, yeah, there's little to no chance that you're actually going to get promoted in your job. So that room for growth, if you're somebody that would like to like feel like you're moving forward in your career, is very little, unless maybe you decide to leave home care and then get your healthcare experience and put it in another field. Maybe you want to become a proper nurse, you don't have to go to school for that and all of that, but just getting promotion is very little, or it's very slow compared to like other professions. The fourth reason is the condition for the job. So as you guys, if you've not seen the video, I'll advise that you do again, because when I was working in home care, you have to move between one client's house to the other. It was crazy. Under the sun, rain, winter, cold, wind, hailstone, everything, you just have to be out there, and it's it can get unbearable sometimes because you're soaked. But then some companies do send cabs to like help you get around, but not all companies. Very rarely do you find companies that will provide that like easy access, maybe on very rare conditions, or maybe if at all, because there was a time that I had to take a cab when I started working with them newly, and then I had to take a cab. So my colleague was like, you have to tell supervisor that you took a cab because of the job, or because this was the reason why I took a cab. I did, and then I was asked to send receipts to a certain mail. Then you now wait for it to now be added to your next salary, of which you will still get taxed. So like, it's just long. To be honest, it was under my control. If I had the resources and the mind for it, I would have gotten a better means of transportation, a car. But like, yeah, if you're able to get that for yourself, great. I would advise that you keep on doing the job, and like the conditions will be better. But if you're unable to, it's very, very hard, and it's very, very long to have to work under those conditions. So yeah, those were like the primary reasons why, amongst other reasons. So I think in a nursing home environment, you have doctors, you have nurses, then you have healthcare assistants, and like that. So that hierarchy, people do complain that nurses are very mean or can be very mean to healthcare assistants. I've heard real stories of this, because they just feel like, okay, like I'm higher than you in this regard. Like I have the book knowledge. You're just here based off on maybe your experience or skills. But like knowing that you have somebody working under you, especially in hospitals, these stories are very, very rampant in hospitals. Knowing that you have somebody working under you, some nurses, not all, some nurses will just like relax and give you the job and let you do it, and like even go as far as telling you, oh, make sure you take blood, make sure you do this one. Like they push all the workload to healthcare assistants, and a lot of people are very uncomfortable with that, and those are one of the reasons why people leave. Another reason is they could not cope with how some clients can be very unbearable, because you need premium patience. You have to be very, very patient to do this job. Oh, trust me, to be a healthcare assistant, you have to be very, very patient, because you're handling people that have different health issues, and then you have to approach them differently. When you're in a good mood, when you're in a bad mood, you have to just handle those things differently. And some people feel like they don't get paid well enough for the kind of work that they do, because if you look at it, actually same issue with home care as well. Most home care companies pay very little compared to like the workload that you do. You get to handle 12 to 15 clients a day, walking distances, and like you're being paid what, maybe 12 euro per hour, or maybe on Sunday you're being paid less. Like it's very very crazy.
So you personally, like, have you had any experience in terms of clients? Because I know you haven't worked in a nursing home, so you won't have like the hierarchy nursing experience or whatever. But like in terms of like clients, has there been any situation where you just be like, I'm done with this job because of what has just happened?
Oh yeah. There's now that you said that, there's this particular client that every time not every time, but maybe twice a week when I leave his house, I'm done with the job, but I always come back. Because he had dementia, but he was a racist. Like, he was a polite racist. He would ask you questions like you're listening to the radio, and then he'll be like, oh, do you understand what they are saying? And then you tell him yes. And then there was a time that he said, so they started wearing clothes in Africa. There was a time he made a reference to me and a monkey and a zoo. Like comments that when I leave his house, I will be fuming. And initially when he started, I did take it as a serious thing, because I thought the man has problems. Do you get so he probably doesn't even know what he's saying. I would correct him, but then I realized that he kept on doing it. So I felt like, does he forget that I'm correcting? I didn't even want to take it personal at that point. When I took it personal was when my colleague called me and told me that, why didn't I report this issue? I'm like, how do you know? She said he jokingly mentioned it to her that this was what he said to me. So that now affirmed that this man knows what he is doing. I reported him to my supervisor, and she spoke to her daughter, because he can't remember. Yeah, she spoke to his daughter because he cannot remember anything.
But you can remember it enough to tell your colleague.
But he would deny. He will blame it on, I don't remember, I have dementia. So I kept my distance whenever I went to his house. That over familiarity that I was trying to form before, just to make the job enjoyable for me. Like maybe I'll play music, ask him what his favorite song is, and then we'll listen to it together. There was a time that I was doing that, and then he said that song, you're so stand up and will shake your waist. I'm like, is this what I'm telling you, like, all those things just had to stop. There are some people that cannot tolerate that. You're making all those kind of unwelcoming comments to somebody that is taking care of you. Like, I can literally do something crazy to you, but just because they feel like you're being paid for the service. Oh, and another reason why people might want to leave home care, another con is, minus just the clients, their family can be unbearable.
Oh, tell me about
They can be very unbearable. There is this sort of like entitlement, because I am paying you. You are under me. I can talk to you anyhow. They will literally ask you to do dishes. It's not in my job description. There was a particular client, his daughter kept leaving tea mugs in the sink. My own job description, I was asked, take care of my clients' dishes when I'm done. I used to wash everything before. When I realized that it was something that she did frequently, and my team member also complained to me, as my partner complained to me as well. And then I decided that, you know what, I'm not going to do it anymore. My partner kept doing the dishes, but I stopped. When I come, when he's done eating, I'll wash his own dishes and leave it. Like, they ride on you. Some families can ride on you, but some families are so sweet. But like the ones that ride on you really ride on you.
So regardless of all of these factors, is this something that you think that you can actually go back to do again, if they are sponsoring you or not?
Or if they are sponsoring me, and if you mean home care or you mean health?
Like healthcare in general.
Oh, yeah. I feel like it's something that I can do, because I've tried it. I did it for
over a year.
Yeah, I've done it. I think that is a job that I can tolerate, and it's a job that I can actually enjoy once I get into like a rhythm on how to handle like my job or go around my job. It's something that I can do and I can tolerate, but the pay has to like be really good as well as it has to be really good. It has to match my job, and then like my job description, and like if the conditions are better, yes, but if you do not have skill of patience and like just no. don't do it.
Yeah, pretty much we've actually come to the end of this video. For those that are looking to go into healthcare and are wondering what are really the cons about this healthcare, am I making the right decision, having to migrate, those that have gotten offer letters, this is just like an eye-opener, just for you to know that there are the good parts of the job and also the bad parts of the job, just to give you some sense of,
guide your decision
exactly,
making,
just make you prepared.
Is this something you want to migrate for?
Because I know a lot of people that have gone into this healthcare, people have even gotten jobs and have come and they're like, I can't do it, like it's not for me, like I'll just look for something else, and then the companies are left hanging and they're going back to now look for people. So be sure that this is something that you'd want to do. Are her reasons why she actually did resign from the healthcare industry here in Ireland. And yeah, pretty much that's it. And thank you so much for actually coming here to talk to us and share your experience with us. We are very delighted. If you guys have any questions, please don't forget to leave it down in the comment section. She's going to be answering as much and as fast as she can. Thank you so much, Grace, for coming.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much, guys. My name is Bria.
And I'm Grace.
And we love you guys. Bye guys. Ciao, ciao.